Hello, and welcome to my exploration of Lab 4, Oscillations. The purpose of this lab is to study oscillations in the form of springs and pendulums. This lab relies on the Newtonian model of physics, and it also specifically relies heavily on the energy principle. A quick introduction into this lab shows the change in potential gravitational energy, potential spring energy, kinetic energy, and change in total energy. This graph is specifically pulled from the GlowScript computational model. As you can see, as potential spring energy increases, potential gravity energy decreases, and potential kinetic energy flows in between, having a full oscillation for every half oscillation of the gravitational and spring energy. And the total energy is always constant, which is consistent with the energy principle. Now, what physics principles are we using? The first is the energy principle as discussed before. And also we have the equations to solve for kinetic energy, potential spring energy, and potential gravitational energy. And then we have the velocity update and the position update formulas as well. For this scenario, the system is a spring, the mass, and the Earth. Now, the Earth is included in our system because we have potential energy from the Earth via the gravitation, which is only possible if Earth is in the system, and the surroundings is everything else. For the physical model, we used the video that was given to us and plugged it into Tracker so we could track the motion in the X and Y axes. The initial conditions are shown below. For the computational model, we had to code a script that would allow us to predict the motion that we observed in Tracker with our coded model. Now, this code creates a loop that predicts the mass's motion based off of the net force acting on the object, and it uses the velocity and position update formulas to do this. Now, what results do we see? The predicted motion and the observed motion are extremely similar. This shows that physicists can accurately use the energy principle, velocity update formula, and position update formula to use code to predict the motion of an object, even while that object is undergoing complex motion with interactions from pendulum and spring forces. So what does it mean? Well, the energy principle is satisfied by this model because the change in energy is zero. The total energy of the system never changes, which is in line with the energy principle. The energy principle states that a change in energy is due to work. Since there is no work done on the system, there should be no change in the energy which was observed. Now, this may seem confusing because there is spring force and the gravitational force acting on the spring, but it is important to remember that these two forces come from objects that are within the system. This means that the work done is not done by an external object. When a force is applied by an object within the system, there's no external work being done, which is why the energy does not change. You can also see how we have made two separate predictions for the X and Y axis periods. For the X axis period, we got 1.5513 seconds. And for the Y axis period, we got 1.646 seconds. This shows that the movement of the object in the X and Y directions is not necessarily the same and can move independently of each other. Now, conclusions. This lab showed that the energy principle allows physicists to accurately predict the motion of a mass undergoing motion influenced by both a spring and a pendulum. It also reinstated that the energy principle is not violated. Thank you.